Well, my friends, the weather's getting cooler. We're heading into September, and you know what that means? That means, first of all, it's time to get outdoors, right? Because if it's been hot in your area and you've been just dreading getting outdoors, going for a hike, camping, backpacking, or something else, then now is the time to do it. And my friends here in Ohio, for me and my family, that means it's almost time to go hit the woods and look for some small game and go hunting. Yes, I'm talking about hunting gear and hunting weather and hunting seasons. Now, as a gentleman, as a man, you know, we can accessorize ourselves, look a little dapper, if you will. In the early 20th century, men still wore vests, especially out in the city, but even if you're in the country, rural folk, you know, having a vest is kind of a nice accessory to have because you got the extra pockets, the extra utility. Now, I'm wearing a wool vest right now, but they had other materials, much cooler to wear during the warmer weather months. But since we are heading into the fall season, and this video is specifically talking about hunting clothing, I've got a really cool artifact to share with you, and we're going to discuss a little bit about this common hunting artifact. That way, if you find your own, then you can get a rough idea how old it is, and if nothing else, you can possibly buy a reproduction, like the one from my friend Nathaniel Logsdon at Logsdon & Co., who's reproducing a very similar vest to this. So what I have today is a very small, for me, hunting vest. Now, luckily, this fits my son. He's a 15-year-old, 6'5" boy, but he's got a short torso. He's all legs right now. But, we do our annual squirrel camp and for the Camp Crafters Guild, and I was looking for something to outfit him that, would be a little bit character creating for him. And I got this one for a song. That's the beauty of antique collecting in regards to like campcraft stuff, because a lot of people don't really collect it. So oftentimes you can find a really good deal. But this one is an oldie. And I'm going to walk you through several reasons why I know this dates to a certain time period and a certain era. The first one that automatically people notice or should notice is the belted back here. So this belted back, that is something that you see in the late 19th century, very early 20th century vests. As time goes on to the late 20s and into the 30s, the belted back becomes less and less common. It's just plain back, and you might get a extra large, medium, small vest, and that's it. The belted back allows you to adjust it more for a one-size-fits-all kind of thing, and it gives you a little bit of cinching or growing depending on if you have under layers, etc. All right, so that belted back definitely indicates this is a very early 20th century vest. Now, I had to do a deep dive in looking at historic hunting vests, because generally you can look at the collar and that gives you a little bit of a hint, but that's not the case. In the Abercrombie and Fitch catalogs that I had access to, I couldn't find a picture of the vest. However, I found descriptions of the vest. So I went to my tried and true, the Sears and Roebuck catalog. Now, there are several sites for Sears and Roebuck catalogs, right? I found one that pretty much had all of them from the early 20th century, whether it be the fall and winter or the spring and summer catalogs and everything. I'll put the link below. I want to give credit where credit is due to the people who put the work in so that you and I can benefit from their research and their hard work. So anyhow, I perused all those catalogs and I found something that I think is pretty interesting, and I think you would find it pretty interesting yourself. So these shell holders, they're just fabric. There's no stretch to them at all. And this is a 12 gauge shell, and it fits perfectly. So this is a 12 gauge shotgun jacket. Now you could put 410s in there as well. It's just going to be pretty loose, but this one fits perfect for 12. So we got a 12 gauge shell jacket here. Now also you'll notice that it has shells towards the top. Oftentimes there'd be a pocket up here instead of another location for the shells. So I thought that was kind of interesting. Up until 1946, in the Sears and Roebuck catalogs, you had these shells that are, I'm sorry, the shell holders, there's just regular fabric sewn into it. In 1947, in the fall winter catalog, that's the first time you see the kind of shell holders that have that stretched material. Now, I'm not saying that that is the by far like the set point, the set year when you start seeing these from other companies, but according to Sears and Roebuck, you don't see that until 1947, 2 years after the end of World War II. In the catalogs that I had from Abercrombie & Fitch, like I said, I could just find descriptions of the vest, but no real good pictures from, like, the figured to be a change possibly in the 1930s, but really nothing changed. Now in the 20th century, they would offer you either a high neck or a low neck cut of the vest. Now this is definitely a high neck, and it seems that even into the 1940s, the high neck took over compared to the low neck for at least the shooting vest or hunting vest. Also, what became more and more common as time went on, and especially with a belted back, I can see why this would make it difficult. You'd have a game bag here. So once you get your squirrel, you get your rabbit or something else, you can just throw it in the back of your vest and you can keep on rolling. This one clearly does not have a game bag. Now the other fairly tried and true way of trying to date anything that's clothing is looking at the laundry tag. This right here. Now this particular model is made by one of my favorite all-time outdoor outfitters, just because, you know, it's Midwest. I'm here in Ohio, so I'm a little bit drawn to Midwestern companies. I like learning about companies that were going above and beyond here in the Midwest. And this one's made by Van Lingerke and Antoine. I probably pronounced that incorrectly, but Van Lingerke and Antoine. Sporting goods exclusively in Chicago. Now, this company actually had a pretty strong following in the early 20th century. It wasn't until the 1928, I think it is, I'll put it on my little bar here if I'm wrong, but it's 1928, I think, is when Abercrombie & Fitch purchased them. And after 1928, the tag started looking more like the Abercrombie & Fitch tag with the green and red writing instead of this golden writing that you see here. So I can comfortably date this vest to before 1928, along with all the various other clues that it has. Now, this is made from a canvas. You know, duck and twill were also common materials for outdoor clothing. And if you go to my friend's website, Nathaniel Logson's website, like I said, he's got one like this, and it's made from a heavy-duty canvas. So you can get pretty much the exact same thing as this one if you're wanting to do a little bit of period outdoor shooting or outdoor hunting. There you go. That is the brief discussion on the hunting vest and how you can kind of identify or date yours and maybe pick out a good one that's appropriate for you. I can't wait for my son to use this for our squirrel hunts this fall, and I know we're going to have a lot of fun out there trying to get those tree rats, making some Brunswick stew, which is perfect for cold weather, camping or hunting or what have you. Now, if you go hunting, please let me know below in the comments box, what kind of clothing do you like to use? Do you use a particular brand? Do you like the old style clothing? Do you mix and match? Things like that. I love to hear what you guys have to say. Me personally, I'm not into the whole camo thing when I go squirrel hunting or deer hunting, to be honest. I'm like a plaid flannel guy myself. If it was good enough for my granddad, it's good enough for me. But nonetheless, how do you do it? I want to know how you did it. Now, if you like this video, please click like. We appreciate it. It helps people find this video, and you'll be helping them out as well. And I'm sure they'd appreciate it. Now, if you would like to get your hands on the Preston Mess Kit, I still have less than 100 available, so you can still get in on this. Unless the interest suddenly booms after the kit is made, this may be the one and only time that I produce this kit. So if you really want to get one, now is the time. It's $175. It is shipped free in the continental US to wherever you live here. And it's certainly going to be an investment because the kit themselves is really rare. To have the reproduction, it's probably going to be just as rare or maybe even more so. I don't know, right? So if you want to get in on that, in the description box below, there's a link. You can check out the article because has a fascinating history, if nothing else. But you can also watch the videos that kind of explain it. And if you haven't done so already, check out the Camp Crafters Guild, www.honorableoutfitters.com/join the guild. This month's challenge, since we had so many new people, was a reading challenge. So each person challenged another person to read their favorite outdoor book, whether it be fiction or nonfiction. And it's been a lot of fun. Next month, we're going to have a new challenge just to keep engagement going, but we also have a monthly get-together online where we all come in and say hi to each other, catch up with each other, ask each other questions, get some feedback, help, tell stories. It's just a lot of fun. It's a great social event. It's literally like being around a campfire. So if you haven't got on there, check it out again at www.honorableoutfitters.com/join the guild. Now, if you would like to see the video about the Preston Mess Kit, you can check it out here. If you would like to watch the playlist of my various camp crafting videos, then check it out here. Hope you guys have a wonderful week. Give a kiss out to your loved ones, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care.